All right, listen, out of respect for all of the things that went on Good Friday, I have chosen to wait to do this video until the day that you are watching it. Now, the day that I'm recording it, it is Good Friday, and I'm just going to simply say I am fed up with the lies of this false prophet, the Pope, okay? On Good Friday, he ends up having a conversation with somebody on Italian TV, an interview where he basically says this, quote, we are racists, and this is bad. And he goes on to talk about the refugee problem. By the way, this isn't Good Friday, okay? This is when we take time to reflect upon the sacrifice that Christ made for us, what he did for us, right? Which has nothing to do with race other than Christ dying on the cross abolishes sin because he resurrected. We're celebrating the fact that Christ has delivered us from this stuff. It's unbelievable what this Pope is doing. He goes on to say the problem of the refugees is a problem that Jesus suffered too because he was a migrant and a refugee in Egypt when he was a child to escape death. How many of them are suffering to escape death? I mean, forgive me for saying this, but I think the guy is an absolute kook for saying something like that. Why in the world would he choose to show disrespect to Christ and minimize everything that Christ had to go through in order to make a point about migrants? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. If you want to say you're tired of the war, say you're tired of the war. If you want to say that things are bad, violence is bad, say violence is bad. But stop blaming it on racism. It's an absolutely crazy way to look at things. And this is what he does. He does what all of these false teachers do. He takes his own narrative and he inserts it into a Bible study of his choosing, right? So that he can somehow create some sort of false power behind his statement to come to his ridiculous conclusion. Look at what he says. This is terrible. He says, now we are here. We have died to our past. We wanted to live in our own land, but war prevented that. It is difficult for a family to have to choose between its dreams and its freedom, between its hopes and its survival. Look at how he's taking such manipulative language, speaking about people who are desperate as a result of the ravages of war, to build a false conclusion that we are racists. Folks, I'm going to tell you this right now. I think this is terrible, but it's absolutely true. This Pope is using the narrative of not only climate change, but he's using the narrative of the social justice movement to manipulate people into believing what will be the coming Revelation 13 economy. I promise you that. If he is not the false prophet, he is doing a great job applying for the position, and what he is doing is absolutely evil. And folks, we got to pay attention to it because the direction he's going into is the direction of the world. He's manipulating people based on hot topics to try to engage a response out of them when he is dead wrong. I do not agree with war. I hate war. I hate the ravages of war. I hate the effects of war. But stop bringing in the narrative of racism. Racism has nothing to do with it. What he's doing is evil because he wants to manipulate. And guys, we need to open up our eyes and pay attention to people like this because he is a false prophet leading people in a very dark direction. Let's open up our eyes, you guys. Fight the good fight. Stand up for righteousness. God bless you guys.